Hello and welcome back to Locator Gaming. I'm Zach. Today I'm continuing on with my playthrough of Earthborne Rangers, the Lure of the Valley campaign. This will be day 3. So I just want to go over some changes to the decks based on reward cards, and then we'll get right into it. So we're not spending a whole lot of time outside of gameplay. So just real quick, for this deck over here, this is our Shepherd deck. Chandara is our character over here. We're going to put in 2 High Pin Pot Secret Recipe. I'll throw it up here so you can see it. It's a nice Flora manipulating card. And it has 3 icons. And we're going to take out a Meticulous and a Thoughtful. So we'll set those aside over there. And on the other side, in Chase's deck, we're going to put in 2 Gauze Blades, mainly just for the symbols and because it'll have an extra effect if we want it down here. Because what we're taking out is the Thorough, which has the exact same symbols, but we're just getting the same symbols with a potential effect. High Pin Pot's Secret Recipe for Inventive, which with 2 focus in our pool is worth 2 of those symbols, which also is on High Pin Pot's Secret Recipe with a heart. So we will put these all in the displaced area later. So we are at Lone Tree Station. There's the station. So we're here. I came back here because I wanted to take Cordo up to Northern Outpost to check out that Trick of Light card up there. And we might actually also try to take the Swift so that we can just hop over there with 1 travel instead of needing to do 2. So we'll try to get to the topside mast, I think it's called, to do that. We've got to shuffle our decks here real quick. And then step 2 in setup, I think, is draw hands. So we might as well draw our opening hands as well. In addition to that, because of the new errata and stuff that's come out, I'm probably going to use mostly the online Living Valley guide. So I've created another scene here where we will hop and be able to see the campaign guide online. I'm usually a very tactile person, and I play board games to feel the stuff in my hands. So, while I would probably prefer to use the book, there could be some errata that would have us looking on the Living Valley anyway. So we'll try it, and then you guys can actually read it too, while I read it out loud. All right. Let's see what we draw over here. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I like an Artel and an Oru. I would really like to see a Pakoto and Riri. So I think we will mulligan those 4. Let's see what we get. Okay, we got a Bold, Following Footsteps. Okay, we got a Riri and a Meticulous. I don't think we've been able to play with Pakoto very much so far, if I remember correctly. Best mulligan rule in card games. Oh, come on. Oh, I forgot Quiet was in there too. Quiet would have been a good one. All right, so that's our hand of 6 over here. Now our hand of 6 for Chase. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We really want a pocketed belt pouch. Maybe we'll hold on to Artel's vaulting rods and then... I mean, pocketed belt pouch is the key to having a bunch of stuff out over here, so... 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, no belt pouch. We didn't get the right tool though, so we could put something out. Discard it and then search for the belt pouch. So like maybe our headset, while it's cool, that would be the one that I would sacrifice. Unless we put boundary sensors out and use it a couple of times and then do that. Because I guess the belt pouch really is only needed once we've reached our capacity. All right. So we're at Lone Tree Station. I've got the Lone Tree cards here, and Lake Shore is what my campaign guide says as the path to use. It's good that we got Riri, because then we have a method to scout that's not all the way up here on the location. So since we're still early in early game and people might still be learning, let's go through the setup rules. We set up the player area, we drew our starting hands. Lead Ranger will go with Chase this time. Shuffle the challenge deck, set up the starting location. And in step 6, when we set up the weather card, is where we are going to read any thing on our tracker, build and shuffle the path deck, which we did, resolve arrival setup. Okay, so we are still on, I already marked off day 3, but day 3 has 94.1 above it, and it's a perfect day weather. We've got a perfect day up here. Put 3 charges on it. Let's just give this a quick once through. Arrival setup on Lone Tree Station says to read entry 2. But let's read 94.1 first to start the day. If you've completed biscuit delivery, you yawn as you wake up on the trail and then sniff the air curiously. Something smells delicious. You look around your campsite and see, sitting on a rock, a hearty grain loaf and stack of delicate sweetbreads, still warm and steaming. Someone hiked by while you were asleep and left them for you. On the top of the loaf, you find a note that says, "Thanks for delivering the biscuits to us. Enjoy breakfast." Each ranger gains 1 additional energy in an aspect of their choice for the first round. Okay, we'll remember that in just a second, but while we're here, let's read Lone Tree Station. Visible for miles around, Lone Tree is a single enormous giga redwood rising out of the thick grass of a high prairie. From far away, the tree is all you can see. But as you come closer, you can see the rest of the station, the large box garden plots hanging from the branches, the airship Swift moored to its dock in the tree's crown, the doors and windows carved into the trunk and peeking out from among the roots. Lone Tree Station has been the base of operations for the Rangers ever since people came to the valley, and ever since you became a Ranger, it's been your home. I think that was everything we had to read. We do have some entries for tomorrow. We don't have to worry about that. Okay, so an extra energy of our choice. Well, I think we're going to go with an extra awareness, Because if we put Riri down, then we will use up all of our awareness. So we're not even going to think about it forever. We're just going to do it. What do I want over here? I might also go for an awareness because I'm good with getting this gear down, boundary sensors down. Because if Riri comes out, this ranger can, Chase can also do the test on Riri to scout the path deck. Okay, I think we're ready. Do a rival setup. Search the path deck for the next predator and discard it. Oh, the carnivorous naiad. That's the best possible predator we could have gotten to get rid of. All right. Cordo was actually down there quite a ways. And I didn't see the topside mast there either, so this seems good. I mean, there's also Luchinols in here. We didn't see a single Luchinol. That means they were all hanging out together. Maybe in their Holt. We didn't see the Holt either. That's interesting. There was only like 5 or 6 cards left, and probably 5 of those cards were is there 4 Luchinols and then a Luchinol Holt? That's kind of funny, actually. Then the lead ranger draws a path card. What do you know? Ambush right away. We got a Luchinol. It has ambush. Okay, we start a round. First, lead ranger draws a path card. Spirit Speaker Null, we will read her entry. And Hanging Gardens, we will read that entry. Okay. Spirit Speaker Null. Got a little itch by my eyeball. 45. Enters play. If you don't have either, well, we did. Having it completed counts. So if you spoke with a spirit, no. Otherwise, 45.3. You come across Null, the spirit speaker of Lone Tree Station, sitting cross-legged before what looks like a floating disc of water. Her eyes are closed. You assume it's best not to interrupt whatever she's doing, and wait quietly for a few minutes. The spirit speakers of the valley are the most adept at communicating with the world beyond the visible spirits, great and small, as well as those of the ancestors. Null's gifts are greater still, for with the help of a device crafted by Binamon, she's able to communicate over great distances, projecting images and emotions into the minds of rangers in the field. After several minutes, she opens her eyes and speaks. The spirit of the valley was eager to tell me that you were coming, she says. She turns to you and smiles warmly. How can I help? If you need me to send a message, I may not be able to at the moment. The spirit of the Verdessa, the great jungle to the south, has gone silent. I don't know why. I feel like I need to get to the bottom of it before I can do anything else. I'll be too distracted otherwise. Something's wrong. Cleared Null with progress to ask how you can help. And we got the Hanging Gardens is 43. 5 meters above the ground, you step out of the doorway leading into the trunk of Lone Tree and onto the wildly swinging catwalk of boards and rope. You keep a firm grip as you make your way toward the massive boxes, each as large as a flatboat and overflowing with plants that hang from the tree's thick branches. As the wind shifts, you catch the heady aroma of blooming flowers and ripe vegetables. Okay, let's take a look at them because they have some tests on them. Spirit Speaker Null. You can focus with connection to share in Null's understanding of the universe, to add 1 progress to this being for every 2... Oh, Scout Challenge cards. Okay, that's cool. She lets us Scout Challenge cards. I had forgotten about that. And the Hanging Gardens. Eat to add harm to the feature. Soothe 3 fatigue and heal an injury. We probably... Well, we can't necessarily ignore it because it has a presence on it. And just as a reminder, Lone Tree Station has a test on it to scout path cards. Okay, so the thing that's kind of a bummer is that the Luchinol could attack null if a crest comes out. So let's move the Lutrinol with an Oru play. We'll spend 2 to put Oru down, and we won't forget about our nice little table decoration miniatures. And then we're going to use Oru to move the Lutrinol over here and put 2 progress on it. And then I think we're done with that turn. What do we want to do over here? I think we will start with boundary sensors. Help us with some traverse tests. It comes out with 4 uses on it. And that's our turn. I almost want to traverse this to maybe get rid of it. But then that activates the Lutrinol, which just puts null in danger again. What about over here? We're going to spend 2 awareness to bring out Riri. I'm actually wondering if I should have moved null instead, because Riri in 2 turns could take care of this Lutrinol. Oh, it needs to be moved over here so that Riri can actually hit it, though. Just as a reminder, Riri's ability, or exhaust ability, is add 1 harm to a being in the same area. So Lutrinol needs to be in the same area as Riri in order to harm it. But I think we're going to do that anyway, just to get the Lutrinol out faster. So we'll add a harm to the Lutrinol with that exhaust ability at the end of our turn. Since I want to dig for Cordo, traversing Lone Tree Station doesn't make a whole lot of sense either. So I might actually remember my training just to see if I get lucky and get a belt pouch. That's kind of pushing it, though. But like I said, I guess I could keep the gear out until I really need to dig for a belt pouch, but it would be nice to have Artel's vaulting rod out also. We'll just get it out for now. The photoscopic headset helps any ranger scout, which maybe we'll actually do right now. The scouting ability on Riri is a reason. It's an awareness plus reason, so we're just going to spend 1. Man, do I use the vaulting rod? No, we'll just go 1-to-1 on an awareness test. Okay, it's a 0, so we get to scout 1 path card. Mountains. Okay. Scout 1. It's Kelpweed. I'm okay with this card. I don't want to necessarily accidentally draw another Romping Lutrinol, so we'll just put that back on top and then draw it for our 1. It has 0 presence, so it's not really blocking us from anything. And if we had a high pim pots recipe, we could put a couple of harm on some things to move some things around. That was here. I'm a fool. Take that back. We're gonna exhaust this to scout 2 cards. The whole reason I have that in these decks. Okay, so we got muckets and kelpweed. We're gonna put the muckets on top too because that's not that dangerous. No, we're digging for cards, right? If Lutrinals come out, they come out. Yeah, you know what? If they come out, they come out. We're gonna put both of these on the bottom. We're trying to find Topside Mast and Cordo. Let's play like we actually know how to play games. And the Carnivorous Naiad is already out, so it's fine. All right, Romping Lutrinol. Fatigues us with Ambush. Now we're kind of in trouble because a crest is bad because we have 2 in the same area. If there are other active Romping Lutrinals, exhaust each of them and this being suffer 1 injury. So I think we're done taking tests on this side. We do have a High Pim Pots secret recipe. Add 1 to each flora and then add... Oh, but I took that other flora out, so now it's not as good. Yes, now it's not as good. The pocketed belt pouch also has a test on it, but since I don't want to test for crests on this side, I think we are just going to do this. So we'll spend 1 awareness to use the right tool. Choose a ranger. That ranger may discard 1 of their equipped gear to search their ranger deck for a gear and equip it without paying its energy cost. So we're going to discard this. We're going to discard this, even though I really want that. We're going to get a belt pouch. We equip it without paying its cost. It's going to come out with 3 uses on it. So now we're sitting at 2 of our equipment pips used. Okay, we do not want to take tests over here, so I think we'll play an Artel's Vaulting Rod for 1 fitness. We'll use our ability, which is to spend an energy to add a token to an aid card. So we'll take this Vaulting Rod up to a 4. And we can take tests all day over here. Let's use 2 awareness against the pocketed belt pouch test, which uses 1 of the pockets. And then, so we have to pass. It's 2 to 1, -1. With crest, there's no active predators because I moved them onto this side. I get to search my ranger deck for a gear and add it to my hand. Field journal, gauze blade, hiking staff. No, I think I'm gonna actually go get that headset back. Chandara's gonna rest because I do not want to take tests over there. I could pet the dog, but that's a test that I don't want to do. So we're resting on this side. We're gonna spend a focus over here to bring this out. So now we've used 3 of our gear slots. And since we rested over there, there's no reason not to. will play Artel. I think I started this at 3 when it should have started at 2, so this is at 3 because I added 1 with this. All of our gear slots are used up over here. We've got a vaulting rod, some animals. I think we're set up decently, but we're in kind of a little bit of a pickle with not having removed any cards that that turn. I'm actually going to move this up a little bit. It feels like it's about to fall off my shirt. Okay, we'll go to the next round. We have to refresh. I have to remember to get rid of the extra awareness that we got at the beginning of the game. Nothing is exhausted over here. Let's draw cards. Pocketed build pouch. Healing Touch. Healing Touch is interesting. Yes. We gotta see what path cards we draw. Lead Ranger, chase over here. Oh boy. Ambush over here. Tributary Stream is an obstacle. All right. We're not finding the people we want to find. All right, so it looks like avoidance tests are going to be our friend. What I'm going to start with over here, though, we're going to spend one of those to play Healing Touch. Discard 1 harm from a being to add 3 progress to it. So we will discard this harm on the Lutrinol to take this to 5, which clears it. So that one's done. Then I'm not going to use Oru's ability yet, but I might as well use Riri's to put a harm on that one. Okay. Now, over here, we're going to try to avoid this Lutrinol, which means we can't scout. We do have a water feature. Oh, but that one you have to clear with your token. I just don't want Null. I mean, I guess Null could take 1 injury from the Lutrinol. What do I want to do here? Soaking my feet here is a 2. But then if the Ranger token goes there, try to connect. I could fish. Here, adding progress doesn't do anything, but it is a water feature. Yeah, that doesn't make any sense because I don't need to put progress on a water card right now. I'm not really gaining anything by avoiding this guy because I want to scout cards. But if I use this awareness on Riri's test, now I've got 2 active predators and another active romping neutral that will injure me. I don't have any conflict icons to add to it. And exhausting a tributary stream. It's not doing too much for me. I guess I could just, so I'm going to do the focus test up here. It's 2 against 2, so it's not great. I'll use my card to avoid the Lutrinol. So we're looking at a focus test. +1. Oh boy. This is not great. Okay, so we passed the test. Let's do this in order. We move our thing here. We add 1 progress to the location. Now, suns. If there's another romping Lutrinol in play, move it within reach. So this one is going to move within reach. And we have to shuffle, of course. Now what do we do? I think now we use Oru. The start of the turn. Maybe we do it at the end of the turn, so the Lutrinol's not in the way and not active. Hey, now we're thinking. We'll do the spirit test. I don't have a connection icon, but we're going to do 2 + 1 from Chase being there. So we're looking at spirit is a 0. We get to move our token there, which is going to clear this thing, which will help us travel later. And we get to soothe fatigue equal to our effort. We've only got 1 fatigue. Oh, it's a dear friend. What do you know? We could search for Cordo, but we don't have any spirit left. We spent all of our spirit. Mountain. If there's an active human, exhaust them. There's not an active human. Now at the end of our turn, we're going to use Oru to bring this one back over. So that's in the same zone as Riri. Add 2 progress to it. Doesn't matter too much. Well, what do I want to do on this side? Maybe connect with the Lutrinol. Just try to get some progress on it. Sure. So it's 1. I'm going to spend the heart on the Mother of Invention. So we're looking at 2 versus its presence of 1 on a connect test. Spirit, -1. Well, what do you know? Another sun. I should have tried to avoid it. Okay, so there's only 1 progress. Because it was 2 - 1. Then the sun, if there's another romping Lutrinol, move it into play. Okay. Now it's very bad to do tests over here. we'll come over here and do 2 awareness to scout. I guess it doesn't really matter which one we use. Oh, it does, because if I go through the Hanging Gardens, then I have to take a fatigue. So we will scout with Riri. 2 versus 1. 2 versus 1 on an awareness. +1 is 3. And we're going to use this that says increase number of cards scouted by 1. So we're scouting 4 cards out of here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, there's Cordo and Topside Mast. Great. And then these 2 are benign cards. So we're going to leave all of this up here, right on top. And we're going to draw Cordo. And we read 44. Enters play. We have already done the accommodation mission. We have not found Cordo's quarry. Go to 44.3. You got to know Cordo Haverson well enough during your training, but this time the old former ranger gives you a warm grin and clasps your hand. Welcome back, fellows. How's your patrol been treating you? You realize that with your training complete, Cordo sees you as fellow rangers and not novice students. Now you get a chance to see a side of the veteran hunter that you'd never known before. You get Cordo talking about some of his greatest hunts. He chuckles. Well, my greatest quarry is the one I haven't caught yet. Up in the... No, you know what? I better not talk about it. I don't want to send you on some hopeless chase. Clear Cordo with progress to ask him about his elusive quarry. Nothing. If there are 2 or more active predators, exhaust one of them. They're not active. They're over here. And shuffle. All right. The thing that's a bummer about this getting moved is I didn't want to use Oru to move it over here next turn again. Although I could hunt that one now that Cordo's out. Plus that adds progress to Cordo. But if there are 2 or more active predators, exhaust one of them. I think if I use that fit test over here, I'm interacting with a card over here, then all this stuff becomes active, so a crest becomes problematic. And doing an awareness test to exhaust one of them or avoid one of them also becomes problematic. I could take an injury because there's more than one Lutrinol. If I avoid one of them, it's just the crest is bad, and I could try to avoid Null and have her exhausted, but I could still take an injury off of a crest. She could tank 1 hit if I hunt with Cordo. I don't know if there's anything else I want to do over here. I hate not traversing, but I'm kind of in a pickle with it not being smart to do tests on this side. So what I think I'm actually going to do, while I would love to be able to add to an aid card, I think I'm going to exhaust my roll over here to go again, to go twice in a row. And we're going to do this fit test on Cordo. which is add 1 harm to a being for every 2 effort. Then add an equal amount of progress to Cordo. And I do not want to fail, so we're going to spend 2 fitness and then 2 conflict icons from follow in footsteps. So we're sitting at 4. Sitting at 4. 0. All right, so because it's every 2 effort, I can add 2 harm to the being, which is going to clear it, which is good. So that's cleared. I believe I have to take a fatigue from this interacting past it. So we'll do that. Add an equal amount of progress to Cordo, so that's 4 for Cordo. Then mountains, we added progress during the test, so that's 5. And so now this is interesting. So here, if there's an active predator other than a romping lutrinol, exhaust it. There's not. Here, if there's an active human, we have 2 active humans. Exhaust them, add progress to them, and harm to this feature, both equal to their presence. I could clear Cordo right now. His presence is 2, so we will add 2 to this. Exhaust Cordo. That takes him to 7 progress. And he's cleared. All right, that's nice. Clear. We do not have helping hand. We have not found Cordo's quarry. 44.6. You know, Cordo says, a sly smile crossing his weather-beaten features, now that you're no longer in training, Elder Thresh can't stop you from coming on a hunt with me on account of it being too dangerous. Up in the northern woods, the ones in the mountains beyond the valley, there's something up there that's evaded every snare, and I've lost every time I tried to follow it. To this day, I haven't spotted more than a shadow in the trees. He sticks out his hand. What do you say, fellows? Want to head up north with me and help me catch my greatest quarry? Yes, that was our plan today, Cordo. Accompany Cordo to the northern outpost, remove all progress and attach helping hand mission to Cordo, Ranger, Veteran. Okay, remove all progress. And don't have the missions out. Helping hand. Let's be optimistic and leave the missions out over there. Attach it to Cordo. Do not add the mission to the campaign tracker if you don't help this person before the end of the day. The opportunity is lost. The attached being gains persistent. Let's move Cordo over by our animal friends. All right, that was a pretty productive turn. Okay. What do I want to do? What can I do with my fitness? I don't want to... I mean, I could take the... I could take the fatigue hit and do that same test again. To hunt this one. I mean, let's do it. We'll spend 3, it's 3 to 2. We got to take the fatigue. Unfortunately, we've already used our... Oh, you know what? I made some mistakes. So we had a Lutrinol that... There was one that moved from here to over to here. That's a fatigue because of ambush. Another one moved over here. That was another ambush and moved back over here. Yeah, so we got pretty fatigued. And I probably forgot to do it with... I'll do another fatigue on this side because I'm pretty sure I forgot to do it again with when Riri moved it to harm it. Yeah, so we've got a lot of fatigue now. We got to get rid of these Lutrinols. Okay, so we're going 3 against 2 to hunt. Here, this is a fitness test, +1, and it's a crest, which is fine because we're going to add a harm. That's plenty of harm. It only had 1 point left. Sorry about that mess up. That ambush keyword, I just forgot about it. Which makes getting the suns on the Lutrinols even worse. That also adds progress. So it would have been 2. Because with the +1, we ended up at 4 effort. And it's 1 for every 2 effort, which is 2 total. Okay, now crest. Now that there's no active predators, the crest does nothing. Okay, so now we only have a focus over here. Do I want to remember my training? I don't think so, because we're spending a lot of cards already. So we'll rest on this side. Coming back over to here, we're going to do this test on the Hanging Gardens. And we're going to use our other pocketed belt pouch just to make sure we don't fail. Is that right? Or should I just not be scared of the -2? I'd be upset if I failed. We don't need the other belt pouch. So we're going 3 against 1. And we will read what that does after we see this. So -1, we would not have failed. And there was nothing in my way now that fatigues me because Null is friendly. So we pass. We eat the abundant fruit to add 1 harm to this. Soothe 3 fatigue. So 1, 2, 3. And heal 1 injury, which we don't have. Trail markers, good. Favorite gear. And masterwork. Okay. Crests do nothing. We're done. Both sides, we have no energy left. Ready, ready, ready. And we know we're getting pretty benign cards, but we have to draw. Do another favorite gear, and we draw a bold. I don't remember what the test on Topside Mast actually is. Let's take a look at it. It's focus plus connection icons at a difficulty of 3. And then kelpweed. I think we're going to want to soothe more fatigue before we leave. Before we try to leave. We only get 1 more shot at it. 3 cards, 2 cards. Okay. All right, what do we want to do here? We don't have enough to clear Null. But we could pet the dog to soothe our fatigue. So we need connection icons. We've only got one. Getting onto here is going to be pretty rough unless we find some connection icons in here. I guess we do that first. So let's spend 2 awareness to try to do this test here. -1 is still fine. Oh, we got to take this down. Yeah, we drew our path cards. Yeah, we're good. Okay, so we got a harm to it. That takes it to the 4 progress threshold. Oh, we didn't read topside mass entry. We'll do that in a second. Soothe 3 fatigue. Let there be another connection icon in here. Oh, healing touch. Oh, we got Pakodo. Oh, man. I did not ready my rolls. Okay. Masterwork and Pimpot. I mean, if I fail these, that's going to suck. I might have to just travel normally. Stretches the day out a little bit. But I could try to pet the dog, though, to soothe the fatigue to see what I get. I might as well. So let's use Oru at the end or start of this ranger's turn. Doesn't really matter. We'll move Null over with 2 progress. This ranger's turn is going to... Who do I want to start with, actually? So who does it need to be easier for? That's still a 3-on-3. My journal would be good here, but then I'd have to get rid of something. So let's pet the dog. We'll use 1. Oh, sun icons didn't do anything. This ranger's going to pet the dog. Nothing's in the way. Nothing's in the way. So this is a fitness 1-to-1. It's a 0. Crests are not going to do anything. So petting the dog, it stands up and we get to soothe the fatigue. We got the other Pimpot's secret recipe. So I think we'll just have to go for it. Oh, that could be risky. What are we going to do on this side? Let's just get Pakodo out. Okay, now over here. We're going to do the focus test on this. It's a difficulty of 3. We're going to commit 1 Pimpot and a Masterwork. So we're sitting at 4. On a focus test. What has come out so far? +1, 0, 0, -1, 0. All right. -1 is fine. So it's 3 to 3. We pass. Our token moves there. That's the only thing it does. We didn't read the entry. Sun does nothing. 42. High atop Lone Tree Station, you'll find a series of circular platforms of polished wood and forged carbon. During your training on clear, windless days, these platforms served as a refuge. You'd often spend your free time in the afternoons bathing there in the sun, sitting in quiet contemplation and looking out over the mirrored surface of White Sky Lake. He'd also look wistfully at the airship known as the Swift, its hull gleaming in the sun, as Benamon would climb aboard and launch it into the air. The legs of the vehicle would compress and then extend with a sudden movement, propelling it upwards with tremendous force. Then once it reached its apex, its wings would unfurl, and the glider would soundlessly soar toward the horizon, steadily descending as it flew toward its destination. Calypso told you and the other initiates that it was prone to roll and crash in inclement weather, and if you flew at any great distance, its energy cells would drain, and the Swift would grow inert, unable to launch for days before the cells recharged. All this was clearly meant to dissuade you from taking the Swift out on your own, but when you look at the airship, you can't help but feel a surge of excitement. To soar high above the valley would surely be exhilarating, if not a little terrifying. Now that you're a full-fledged ranger, perhaps you can convince the crew to take you for a ride. Clear the topside mast with our tokens to take the Swift for a joyride. Benamon would probably come with us. Okay, there's nothing here that would fatigue me if I try to get my token there. But the question is, do I want to do other stuff to set up before we leave? I will exhaust Oru to move Pekoto and add 2 progress to Pekoto. And then for my turn, I don't need to heal injuries, which is what the Kelpweed would do. I could do that at the end of this ranger's turn. Is there something else I want to do with this ranger? I think I will exhaust my roll card to go again. I'm going to use this spirit to attach favorite gear to boundary sensor. It doesn't work on the headset because it's after I use a token. The headset doesn't have any tokens. Then that's all I want to do. So now we have to come over here. We need to do this focus test. So we've got 1 plus 1 for our token. That's 2 versus 3. Let's spend a dear friend. That's 3 versus 3. And healing touch, I guess, is 4 versus 3. Don't like that. On a focus. Oh no, he failed. I don't think I can do it now. With only 1 focus. Oh no. Well, now we're in trouble. We're not really in trouble, it's just going to take longer. Okay, now we need 5 progress on Lone Tree Station. The crests don't do anything because there's no predators out. Discard 1 cloud. If there are no clouds remaining, flip the card. All right. Well, what are we going to do now? I'm going to spend 1 here. Let's just take this up. 4. I guess we're going to traverse Lone Tree Station with 2 +1 here. We spent a token, so we get our card. So we're looking at 3 versus 1 is a 0. Okay, so that adds 3. Mountain adds another 1. Yes. Okay, now we'll traverse over here. Nothing's in the way. 2 versus 1, fitness. +1. Sun's not going to do anything. Okay, so now we've got plenty of progress. We actually have 8 on there. And now we're going to travel. I'm not going to stick around here trying to dig for more connection icons. Because with only 1 focus, even with this token here, it's just not going to be possible to get to 3. I mean, it's possible. I'd have to draw a +1. I guess I could try it once. But then I'm drawing 2 more cards. We've already got a lot of fatigue. No, let's just go. We've got 2 vaulting rods. We've got a bunch of being control. I think we'd be okay in the mountains. So we're going to go from Lone Tree to Aatrox Mountain. Across the mountain path. Well, we should clean up the area first if we're going to go by the rules. Cordo is persistent. Null is not. Kelpweed. It was a good plan. We got laywayed by the 1 card in the deck. That could hurt us. We've got 1 Lone Tree guy here. Okay. Are these pivotal locations? Yes. And that's all the lakeshore stuff. Okay. Now we need the valley set. Quiet is set aside. We haven't seen any quiets. We have 4 quiets between the 2 decks, and we haven't seen one yet. Ravine, Lakeshore, Mountain Pass. Oh man, I do not want to see any of those stupid Aatrox things. Or I mean, Irix. Circling Irixes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Yeah, there's 14 Valley cards. Okay. The Valley set can be a little rough too. Valley plus Mountain isn't necessarily going to be a pushover. We've got our headset, we've got Riri, we've got Pakodo and Oru. Let's do you. We will not look at what's left. These have to go into here. Lone Tree is gone. Plus, we're going to be under the wonderful hot sun here in a minute. Okay, path deck done. Refresh step. I guess I probably should have done the setup and stuff first, technically. I need to print out a little yeah, so the field journal, I should have done that. I could have done that. It would have taken another turn though, because Field Journal doesn't have any entries on it until you rest with focus in your pool still. Over here, we got a perceptive card. Okay, we need Aatrox Mountain. Fit plus reason to climb the steep and perilous route to add 2 progress to this location for every effort. Then it fatigues you. So that's like awesome sounding until you get to the then it fatigues you part. 11. Search path tag for the next obstacle put into play. Search path tag. Oh, amazing. Okay, good thing we have Artel's Vaulting Rod. During your training, Calypso would jokingly threaten to send you on a patrol of Aatrox Mountain whenever she needed to provide you with some extra encouragement. Now struggling up the side of the mountain, you can see why. The paths around Aatrox Mountain are a maze of narrow trails weaving between rockfalls and slopes of unstable scree, and you know that lurking along the trail there may be an Aatrox waiting to pounce. Don't I know it? All right, Lead Ranger, search the path deck for the next obstacle. Oh, we got Tala. Okay, we got some Shale Scree. And then the next obstacle. Fractal Wire. Oh, come on. That's not good. I'll show you why in just a second. We have to exhaust that thing quickly. Man, and we used our Pim Pot. We used 1. Add a harm to each flora. We're not even done drawing path cards. Let's just get all the path cards out, and then we'll look at all of them. Start of a round. This is when we should have done the refresh, but we start the round. Lead Ranger draws. Ugh. Irix and Renkobo. Oh, do I have a piece of gear? I don't. I was just thinking about Renkobo because I was thinking about adding a carbon forged tool to this deck to deal with Flora. Stupid Flora. Okay, so where should we start? Let's start with the bad news. The bad news is first. This is a persistent bugger. If you know you're going to travel, though, you can scare it off. It is a predator, too, so that could put Ren at risk. Place to being on top of the path deck with that spirit test. So like I was going to say, if you know you're going to travel, you can try to scare it off on top of the path deck, and then it won't come with you because it's persistent. It will go with you where you go. Shale Scree is an obstacle. You can scramble up it to add 3 progress to the feature for every 2 effort. So if we can get to 4, we could just get rid of this. If you fail, we have to resolve its mountain challenge effect, which is to move it within reach. It fatigues you. Move each being that is within reach to another area. So it could scare off beings that are within reach of us, including our own beings. And then the Fractal Wire. Look at this garbage. It's an obstacle. We could do the break test, 1 harm to this feature for every 2 effort. So this one also, if we could get to 4, we could get rid of it with harm. We suffer an injury if we fail. The problem is this mountain right here. Add 1 harm to each being within reach. Riri only has 1 health, and so does Pakodo. So if Pakodo's over here, they're going to get tangled up in the Fractal Wire and get hurt. We need to travel as fast as possible, right? Is this a trail? It's not a trail, so we should probably put trail markers up there. Awareness plus exploration for the shale scree. The fractal wire is focus plus conflict. And wouldn't you know that this is our one focus character? And we have no conflict icons. It's probably going to be best for Chase here to try to deal with the, although he has no conflict icons either. So that focus test on the fractal wire. So I think we're just going to exhaust the fractal wire with an Artel's vaulting rod, just so we don't have to worry about it. Boom. I should just not worry about either of them. Reason. Do we have reason over here? We have one. Attach to a feature, reduce the attached feature. No. Let's do this. We will also, as an exhaust start of the turn ability, do that to exhaust this, just not worry about it. And then we're going to use Oru exhaust ability. Where do I want to put the Irix? Here with 2. We're going to try to clear it. So we're going to go here with 2. Pakodo, we'll go down to 1. These are also exhaust abilities. This takes it to 4. That should have been exhausted from exhausting one of those. Brent Kobo is persistent, which is amazing, because he's going to travel with us. I would love to get a piece of gear in my hand that I could trade. So those are all like beginning of turn exhaust abilities, right? Connecting with the Irix is probably the thing to do. So we'll go 3, and it's a 2. -1, so that takes it to 6 naturally. And we drew a crest. If this being is within reach and you have 3 or more fatigue, exhaust it. There's not 2 or more active predators. That was probably dumb. Yeah, that was probably dumb because Ren is persistent. We don't have a whistle. We're really gear light on this side so far. today. Should I well, I wanted to add trail markers over here to the location for One Fitness. Now the problem is if I fail doing a test over here, then Renkobo is going to harm out. Unless I can avoid the Irex. I could pet the dog, but then if a crest comes up on petting the dog, Renkobo still still harms out. Well, I might as well add a harm to the Irex. Not like it's going to do anything. I really hate to just rest, but with this Ranger, but this is really dangerous. I don't want to end my day with Renkobo harming out. Spirit plus conflict. To put it back on the top. If I fail, I suffer an injury, which also is not great. Man, is that Ranger just done? Because I don't have any weapons out to do any more harm. I think I'll also do this and spend a focus to add a vault to that as an exhaust ability. I mean, even the avoidance tests are really hard. This is a strange predicament where I think this Ranger just has to be done, and I just work on getting progress on the location. Except I wanted this Ranger because this Ranger has a bunch of exploration icons to do a big test. Well, I could do the test that's on it's fitness plus reason. 2 progress is location wherever ever. Then it fatigues you. I would take 2 fatigue. Let me do the 3, 4, 5. We might be able to travel. And then I don't really care if the Irex comes with us because it will just get taken care of with Oru or Pakodo. Let's do that. First, I'm going to spend 1 focus to play the field journal. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'd have to get rid of the headset again. But I think I want this because I'm pretty sure the Trick of Light is a feature. So we will put the field journal into play. I'm just resting over here. I cannot risk taking a test and getting a crest. Do I want to do that? Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. We're resting over here, back over here. 2 fitness. We're doing this fitness test that's on Aatrox Mountain. 2 progress for every effort. And then the trail markers will add 1 more. That's 2. And we're going to try to go all in here. Favorite gear has a reason. High Pim Pot has 2 reasons, so that's 3. So we're sitting at 5. It's not a traverse test, so I cannot use this. But that's fine. Nothing is in my way because these are exhausted. So we're looking at fitness 5. Plus 1 is 6. So that's 12. Plus 1 for this, which in the end I didn't even need to do. 13 progress. It fatigues me. Its presence is 2. Sun fatigues me. Nothing else for suns. Now I think I just travel, which I can do because these are exhausted. Anything else I want to do? Can I soothe fatigue safely? No, because I do not want to make this whole situation active. So we're just going to rest. We're just going to get out of Aatrox Mountain quickly. So clean up. So we rest, travel. Clean up the play area. And our deck is getting fairly thin. We did not get to see Tala, which is a shame. But we still have Renkobo. Oh boy, Quizzy Voss was in there too. So we'll just leave the mountain set out because I don't want to get to put the IRX in there. These 2 go back in the valley set. We're traveling to the northern outpost through forest. Stood up the call, found the purpose, saved Lund, understood the moment. No, we have not cleaned up the outpost. So this isn't going to be a walk in the park either. I actually don't know what Lund does now that we have saved Lund, so we get to read a new entry for saving Lund. If he comes out, that is. I'm going to stop shuffling this because if I remember correctly, there's some setup to do here. So it's going to come out with 4 neglect tokens on it that we can use focus to tidy up. So we're going to read 4. And we're gonna have quite a few path cards out. The hike through the dark and gloomy woods has taken you hours, but you finally reached Northern Outpost. If you fixed up the Northern Outpost, we have not. Otherwise, scraps of wood, cloth, leather, and paneling lie scattered about the exterior. After long years of neglect, the forest around seems to press in on the outpost from all sides. Search Northern Outpost set for the deep woods and put it into play. Yeah. I knew there was something that we had to do. That's a bummer. The Caustic Mulcher was down there pretty far. Oh, and a Trick of Light was the first card on top. Continue reading. If you haven't gained or completed the search, we have. Is there an otherwise? There's not. So I think we're done there. We're not done there. The Deep Woods is 40. The evergreen woods of the northern mountains consist of massive rotting cedars intermixed with silver firs draped in hanging moss. No light filters down from the canopy, leaving the forest floor a gloomy cathedral, crowded with tree trunks and lichen-covered rocks. You can't see more than a few meters ahead, and all around you the forest seems completely quiet. Three presents. It's not an obstacle. It is flora, and we've like gone through our Pim Pot recipes like crazy. It is a feature though. Oh, when I rest, I haven't rested yet. That's right, I haven't refreshed yet. We can use awareness plus exploration to hide, to put our feature there. When a being fatigues you, you may add a number of harm to this feature to prevent it. Should it be an equal amount of fatigue? The mountain comes out, exhaust this feature, search the path deck for the next predator, and put it into play. And this is along the way. We got to draw a path card on setup for each ranger. Lead ranger gets a Sitka Doe, harmless. Unless a buck comes out. Trick of Light, yes. Let's go. Trick of Light is 39. If you've met an interloper, we have not. So 39.2. You see a dark shadow moving through the trees. You freeze, trying to get a better look at it. The shape seems humanoid, but taller than you, with a slightly forward-sloping posture. It steps into the light for a moment, and you catch a glimpse of a being covered in long fur. Then it steps behind a tree and vanishes. You hurry to the spot where you last saw it, but find nothing. You'll have to clear a Trick of Light with progress to track down the mysterious figure. Okay. Trick of Light has an interesting sun effect on it. If there's an odd number of progress on this feature, the strange phenomenon vanishes. Shuffle it into the path deck. So we want to try to just, like clear it. It is a feature, so we're going to be able to traverse it, use our boundary sensors. We've got a whole bunch of exploration icons over here. So that's all travel setup. Now we get to step 4, which is the refresh phase. So we're going to refresh our cards. And our energy. Here we get entry here because we have one focus left. Put an entry on field journal, refresh, refresh. That's our hand, we're not refreshing that. We do have to draw though. Walk with me, beautiful. Give me some gear. Intention translator. Is this what I want to trade? Whatever. I want to try. I think I would have tried. I wanted to get rid of a whistle, but yeah, I wanted to trade. Do I have any gear over here? No, but I could search for one with the belt pouch. Okay, things are happening. Things are happening. All right. We are set up. Top of the round path cards. Lead path card is... it's a buck. Now a crest is going to make us suffer an injury. Okay. You got to be kidding me. The stupid caustic mulcher. We're friends now, mulcher. We're friends. Oh, man. Yeah, I said things were happening, right? Things are definitely happening. Okay, let's get rid of this Irix, I guess, first. Well, the mulcher on this side, the problem is if I draw a crest and that doe is out, I really need to move one of these two with Oru, so my humans don't and my pets don't get grabbed by the mulcher. If there's an active predator, exhaust it. If there's an active predator, exhaust it. A mountain would be amazing. Except for the deep woods would bring another predator out. This is not a predator. A mountain would not be amazing. I gotta get another being over here though, so we're gonna have to use Oru. I gotta separate the buck and the doe. So that's 2. I gotta use Picoto. Put progress on the Irix to just get rid of it. I think I'm gonna move the doe. Riri can harm the doe. Now all of my animal friends are not active. We've got some active being targets for their mulcher to gobble up. The deep woods could bring out another predator. Nothing is an obstacle, so Artel's rod is not helping. So let's see what we can put towards a traverse test on a trick of light to try to get this taken care of. 2. 3. 4, 5. 6, 7. 8. And off of our field journal, 9. This was the whole reason we came here today, was to bring Cordo to try to find this guy. So we're sitting at 9. I would have to go through the buck, or the doe here, sorry, and take 1 fatigue. So 9 on a fitness test, 0. Okay, so a lot's going to happen here because the sun came out. Interesting. So this is all going here. 9 onto here clears it. So we're going to read, well, I don't know if it exits play. We're going to read 39 because it says clear 39. And we don't know what happens. So let's put our 9 progress there. Man, and we have the walk with me over here, which would have been sweet because we could have cleared the caustic mulcher, but this person's not the one that did the test. All right. 39. If you've met an interloper, go to 39.4. Otherwise, go to 39.5. You move through the trees, not sure if you're actually following something. You're not even sure you really saw a being at all. You look for tracks, signs of passage, anything to guide your way. Then suddenly, you come around a tree and find yourself face to face with a tall, furry humanoid with features that seem to be a blend between human and something else. You've heard stories of the Yeti before, but you thought that they were just that, stories. You look at the Yeti for a long moment, and it looks back at you. Its eyes meet yours, and you feel oddly at peace, as if you and this Yeti share an ancient kinship. You begin to speak, and in response, it rumbles in a low, somehow non-threatening manner. Then it steps back and slips behind a tree. You move to follow, but it's no longer there. Something glints on the ground, however, right where the being had been standing. Gain Translocator reward card. Right, met an interloper on the campaign tracker. Met an interloper and translocator. Translocator. I'm just going to grab a big stack of rewards. No idea where it is in here. Okay, it's not in the green or the start of the red. There we go, translocator. If Earthborne Ranger veteran is in play, he is 39.6. At your side, Earthborne breathes out slowly. Well, I'll be planted. Come on then, let's keep after it. Earthborne quickly spots wisps of fur, small impressions in the ground, bent grass, and other signs of passage. He leads you on a rapid chase through the trees, pointing out each sign as he passes. After a long 5 minutes of running through the forest, the Yeti stops on the far side of a small clearing. Earthborne stops next to you and holds out his hands. Wait, we mean you no harm. The Yeti looks at you all for a moment, but especially at Earthborne. Then slowly and deliberately it nods. It takes a small silver ovoid from somewhere, and sets it on the loam. Then without any fuss, it fades into nothingness and disappears. Earthborne stands unmoving, a smile as wide as the valley on his face and tears of joy in his eyes. Later that day, Earthborne finishes packing his bag. I'm headed back to Lone Tree. Thank you for this. I won't forget it. You clasp his shoulder and say farewell. He saunters down the trail, whistling a jaunty tune. Discard Earthborne, return helping hand to the collection. Gain Earthborne's Instinct reward card. Write found Earthborne's quarry on the campaign tracker. Found Earthborne's quarry and Earthborne's Instinct. Okay. So helping hand, we put to the missions. Earthborne gets discarded. He's a Lone Tree Station dude. Into there, and Earthborne's Instinct. Back to the front of the rewards. No, it's right near the front. Earthborne's Instinct. Let's take a look at what we got before we resolve all those sound effects. Translocator. Well, we cannot use this card. Unfortunately, it's a 3 focus card. When you perform a test, dodge each card in play. What? If you fail that test, suffer 1 injury. Well, we can't use it though. That's a bummer. Cordo's Instinct. We can use this one in both the decks. It's 2 awareness. Green screen's loving the green card here. Search the path deck for a card and place it on the top or bottom of the deck. What? That's good. Holy cow. That's like just better than a Dear Friend, because Dear Friend only gets humans. I don't remember it ever saying to discard this, but it's cleared with progress. So it is gone. Okay. I think that's everything. Sun Effect. Suffer 1 fatigue. This is the Ranger. We were on Chandara. If there's another active being, exhaust it and attach it to this biomeld. Okay. If not, move your Ranger token to the biomeld. All right. That puts Ren Kobo in danger. That Sun Effect doesn't fire off anymore because it's no longer here and active. We go to this side. The Buck can absorb a sun for us here. We could also try to do a big traverse test on the deep woods. I don't really want to exhaust the Buck. Man, but this is the side that is running out of cards. Oh, I forgot to put the neglect tokens. We gotta get rid of the deep woods before we can like fix up the northern outpost though. It's not an obstacle. It would be nice to get rid of that Buck. What are the predators that are in the forest? I'm drawing a blank. I can't remember. I should dig for some gear to get into my hand. That's what I'm going to do. And we'll just see what happens. See what icon we get. Is that smart? I got to try to get rid of those deep woods. I'll just take the fatigue. Man, it's rough. It's going to stick around. It is Flora, but I think we've used all of our Pim Pots already. Doing tests over here is dangerous too with that mulcher still out. Okay, well, we gotta do something. So 3, 4. We used a token, so we get to soothe the fatigue. Oh, look at that. Quiet. Quiet could be eaten up by the mulcher though. Okay, that's 4. Should I use trail markers? For 5? I don't think so. No, you know what I actually am going to do? Well, then I can't draw quiet. Never mind. I'm sitting at 4 on a fitness test traversing this And I got, oh, I can dodge with this. Yep, I'll dodge the buck with my roll card. So fitness test is a 0. Okay. So that was 4. Crest, add 1 harm to each being. That's going to take care of this doe. Wait, before I get to that, do I want to do a walk with me? To add 4 progress to something. Sure. I'll spend my walk with me to add 4 progress to a being. The mulcher, we just got to try to get rid of it. So then the crest does that thing, then the crest here. If there's an active Sitka doe, there's not. Now, I'm going to make the deep woods a little less scary as far as presence goes by attaching surveyed land to it. It comes out with 1 marker. That makes its presence only a 2, so traverse tests aren't as scary. Avoid. Oh, the mulcher's a 3. I'm going to search for gear with the belt pouch. 2 versus 1. Okay, nothing. So, what do I want to trade away? Potentially a gauze blade, hiking staff, field journal. We'll try field journal. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 cards left. Search the path deck for the next predator on a mountain. Exhaust this feature. Interesting. Wow, so this here is going to trigger also if there's an active predator. Exhaust it, add 2 harm to it, then add harm to this being equal to that predator's presence. Okay, so the next predator. Wolfhund. How could I forget wolfhunds? If there's an active predator, so now we do mountains. Exhaust it, 2 harm to it, then add harm to this being equal to that predator's presence. That's 2. Okay, so the buck is still up as a eatable target for the caustic mulcher, which is an interesting thing to say out loud. It might be okay. It would be bad if Renkobo was grabbed by the mulcher with a sun. Should I try to connect with, I guess with the mulcher, and then we'll see what happens. That could get me closer if Ren gets grabbed, then we just take care of it with our animals. Let's do 3. It's 3 versus 3. Oh, I want to trade this away. Maybe. I could put it into play. I can't go twice in a row. Well, we'll just see what happens. Yeah, I'll play it. So that's my 5. That's my 5 things there. Now, what do I want to do over here? Do I just want to rest and get some entries onto my field journal? I can't avoid the mulcher. I've already used my thing here. Yeah, we'll just rest. So when you rest, add entries. I did that wrong earlier. I did it during the refresh phase. It should have been when resting. Okay, so we've rested. Now we come over here. Now we'll do a connection test with the mulcher. 4 versus 3 on spirit. -1. So that makes it 3 versus 3, takes it to 7. And mountains do nothing. Okay, now we'll do this exhaustibility to add, I take that up instead of down. Let's add, sure, we'll add 1 there. No, I think we're about to see some thickets and things, potentially. So we'll do that. Resting, resting. I think this is all going correctly. There's a lot to keep track of. We're also going to get progress on this, but the deep wood's coming out. I don't know if we're ever going to come back to Northern Outpost, but it's good to tidy it up to avoid this just automatically coming out. It's going to ready. I'm glad that was already exhausted, so we didn't have to worry about the mountain. Draw a card. Another quiet. Interesting. Quiet could kill the wool hunt. Gotta get the mulcher out of there first, though. Boom, boom. Like this, here, here, here. And we draw a Pakoto. We did not draw a gear. Okay, we've drawn everything. Start of a new round. Path cards, lead ranger first. Overgrown thicket. Called it. That's an obstacle. And then over here, overgrown thicket. Called it. Okay, first things first. We're just going to vaulting rod and vaulting rod at the start of whichever ranger is going to go first to exhaust those 2 obstacles. Not even going to think about them. Not even going to think about them. Okay. Now, what other exhaust things do we want to do? Pakoto to finish off the mulcher. Because it's a being. Good job, Pakoto. Oru to move this buck over to here, which puts 2 on it. Riri to harm it, clears it. Then I really wish we had a whistle. Really wish we had a whistle. We need 4 more progress on the deep woods. Which is a lot. So spending 2 fitness to bring out quiet is kind of a big investment. We can get 2 from this. 1 from the other trail markers. Maybe I should add trail markers to the northern outpost. But I gotta get rid of that wolf hunt because he's in my way of doing other stuff. 2 fitness to play quiet. Quiet. Then we're going to use Quiet's exhaust ability to do 3 harm to a being will be the Wool Hunt, but then Quiet's going to take damage from the Wool Hunt. Sorry, Quiet. You can heal up. I know you can because I have the other one of you over here. Okay, so that was Chase's turn, Chandara's turn. You are not the one to do stuff with the deep woods. So what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to start getting progress on Rankobo. So we're doing a spirit test. 4 because I used the translator and it's a connect test. -1, so 3. The sun will fatigue us from the weather. Add 1 progress to the location. Hey, thanks, Rankobo. Rankobo is awesome to keep around because he's persistent. Every time you draw a sun, he adds progress to the location. My only problem is I don't have a way to heal this off of him right now. And that makes me slightly nervous. So I do not want to end my day. I also want to trade with him, but now I need to get some gear into my hand again because I'm almost positive the gear has to be in your hand in order to trade it. I don't know that for sure, but I think it's correct. Interestingly enough, now that I just thought about it, getting this ranger's token here would help us get rid of it faster. I should have done that. Right? I should have done that. Because now what do we do over here? Eventually the race of the vaulting rods versus my ability to add tokens to them is, I'm going to lose that race because I can only do 1 a turn. So I don't want to exhaust this to go twice in a row. Yeah, that was kind of a misplay. I probably should have done that. But okay, anyways. Maybe I wait. Do I need to wait? Because now I'm 3 versus 2 because that's there. Maybe I pet the dog. No, that's done. That uses my fitness. Using my fitness. I could try to tidy up here. That's what I'll do. I'm going to spend my focus 2 plus a field journal to make it 3. So it's 3 versus 1 on focus. Okay, this doesn't care about your effort. It just ticks down by 1 every time you succeed. Crests do nothing. This probably would have been a smarter thing to do. I don't even know if we're going to do another location because I want to get reward cards into my deck. So that was this Ranger's turn. There's no exhaust abilities that I want to do. Now I go over here. I want to do this awareness. I'll add Pakodo, the exploration symbol on Pakodo. So I'm sitting at 3 versus 1 to hide on this feature. On an awareness test is a +1. The Bummer Mountain. Okay, so first things first, this comes out here. To give this character a +1 on it. The mountain says I have to exhaust this feature. I had to dodge the deep woods in order to do this tidy test. Now I have to search for the next predator. Okay, Wool Hunt. I'm not going to shuffle because that was the top card. Okay. 3 or more fatigue, suffer an injury. Yes. That's a bummer. Okay, first I'm going to try to avoid the Wool Hunt. I don't have 3 or more fatigue on this side. Nothing's in my way. Right? So we avoid the Wool Hunt with a 2 versus 2. Do I commit my quiet? Man, a whistle would have been nice. We're going to try it. 2 versus 2. Okay, it's a 0. So it's avoided. Sun. I suffer a fatigue. However, because I interacted over here with a common test, Renkobo is active. That was actually very dangerous now that I think about it. Because I could have drawn a crest. If I failed and drew a crest, Ren would have died and our day would have been over. But Ren adds a progress, so that was close to disastrous. Back over here, what do I want to do? I've got 2 fitness. Let's pet the dog once. Twice. We'll do 2. Do 2. Well, maybe I'm fine with drawing suns over here. It does add more fatigue. Let's pet the dog. 1 to 1. Okay, it's a 0. Okay, so the way this works, petting the dog stands it up and I soothe the fatigue. So I get Homeward Bound. Move all progress from a being to a feature. Oh, hey. If I fail, I could get rid of the deep woods that way, but now I've spent my fitness. Then the sun will fatigue me for 1, still have 3 fatigue. And Rankobo adds 1 here. This is working out swimmingly. Okay, now we're going to try this. So we're going to traverse here. So this is 1, 2. We spent a token. We get to do this. Boundary sensor. We get to spend 1 from this, and we only get to spend 1. This has been clarified that this is a 1 use per test kind of thing, even though it doesn't exhaust. That's 1, 2, 3, 4. Sitting at 4. I shouldn't have spent the field journal. I was going to trade that. Dang it. 4 on a fitness test. Dang it. We're 1 short. Crest does nothing. What am I doing? I should have added 3 to that. So it was at 4. So it's sitting at 7 out of the 8 that I need. Should have added trail markers to it. That's fine. I think we're just going to rest, so we'll do this and spend the... whatever, the fitness. We'll add 1 to this aid card and rest. Everybody's resting. That puts 3 on here. So that's good. Got another vaulting rod. And a Pimpot secret recipe. That's actually good. I need gear though. I'm gonna have to remember my training before I clear Rankobo. All right, path cards. Chase's card first. Sunberry Bramble. Pretty benign, except it's got a thing on it. And let's see if there's another predator in play. This predator comes into play exhausted. All right, fine. Okay, I think we'll just, I don't even want to think about the thickets right now, except maybe to play Pimpot. Add progress to each being, then each ranger soothes that much fatigue. I think that's got to be the first thing we do. If there's an active prey, exhaust it. There's not. Okay, so let's think about this. Let's not think about this too hard. High Pimpot. 1 harm to each flora, and then progress to each being, and soothes X fatigue and X equal to the total number of harm added by this card. This is a sweet card. So we spent our spirit. This is a flora. This is a flora. So X is 2. 2 progress to Oru. 2 progress to Riri. 2 progress to Pakodo. 2 progress to the Wool Hunt. 2 progress to the wool hunt. Oh, even better. Hang on 1 second. This is a flora, so it's 3 actually. I did not do Renkobo. 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, and 3. Okay. That was high Pimpot. That was high Pimpot. Now I think just to get a turn out of the way. Okay, let's think about this. If we use Oru to move a being, let's move the wool hunt over to here, take it to 5. Then we use Pakodo to clear it. Exhaust Pakodo. So now we're on like end of turn exhaust abilities, right? Riri will do 1 harm to this wool hunt. Quiet will exhaust to do 3 harm to this wool hunt. Even though it's exhausted, I might have to stick around another turn. So I'm just trying to get rid of it. But then Quiet is going to take damage back, and Quiet gets discarded as well. We took a turn by playing High Pimpot's secret recipe over here. Now this character has to do something. The something is going to be play another Quiet. Because Quiet's a good kitty. And over here, we're going to spend 2 to play Homeward Bound. We're just going to move all progress from a being to a feature. We will take the progress off of Riri, because progress on Riri does nothing for us. You know what? I've been screwing up. I've been forgetting to add, every time I've done Pakodo, I've been forgetting to add a token to an aid card. I'm just going to do 2 and call it even because I've been forgetting. I'm going to take Riri's progress and add it here to clear the Deep Woods, because the Deep Woods is a feature. Okay. That was this character's turn. Now here, I think I want to save this Sunbury Bramble test for this character to soothe fatigue so we can dig for a piece of gear. So what do I want to do then? I think I need to dig for a different piece of gear over here. So we'll use our belt pouch. I actually feel like this should have nothing on it. Yeah, I thought I dug for the field journal. So it's 2 versus 1. -2. We failed. No digging for gear. over to here. I wanted this character to here, do this, right? So awareness is 2 to 2. Oh, wait, I got to shuffle. Not the best check either, but I don't have any fitness to stand up the doggo. I don't have any fitness to traverse the northern outpost either. But Ren Kobo's been doing all the work on the northern outpost. All right. 2v2, we'll see what happens on an awareness test. Okay, it's a 0. Pluck to add a harm, which actually is going to clear it. Add a harm. Soothe to fatigue. If you fail, it fatigues you. Oh, well, I didn't. Guess I should have read that closer. And I did not draw any gear. Mountains. No progress was added. Okay. 1 fitness, but traverse tests are... I can add 1 here. Traverse, this does not help with traversing. It'd be 2v2, that's pretty dangerous. We will spend 1 focus to add trail markers up there. It is not a trail, but I just want that for the extra progress. Back over to here. I want to remember my training. So 1v1 on focus, -1 does nothing. Okay. Over here, I'm good over here. I think we rest. I might as well try to do a connection test. There's nothing that's going to fatigue me. I'll try to do a connection test with Pakoto. Suns actually don't help me, but okay. It's a 0, so we get to add 1 here. Nothing with the sun. We'll come over here and spend 1 with the connection test with Pakoto. -1. Mountains do nothing. Then we're going to use this with this to take that to 3. And we'll leave our focus here when we rest to do that. All right. We got to start thinking about getting out of here before the entire path deck reshuffles, because I think that stupid Irix actually would shuffle in with the other path cards. We're good. We draw. We got a gauze blade and trail mix is gear. Maybe we swap a trail mix for a trowel. That's a 2 fit for, I'm pretty sure a trowel's a 2 fit. Okay. This goes down to 2. Path cards for a chase is a buck. Path card for Chandara is a bramble. Okay. First things first, vaulting rod. I didn't even stand that one up. So vaulting rod, vaulting rod. Let's exhaust quiet to put 3 harm on the buck. Quiet takes 1 back from the buck. we're going to use you to just add progress to Oru for no reason other than to add a token to an aid card. And we're still on exhaust abilities here. Let's get ready to travel. So we're gonna traverse, and we've spent a token off of this, so we get to soothe the fatigue. So we're at 3, 4 against 2 on fitness. +1 is 5, so that's going to take us to the 8 that we need. Actually, it's 9 because of trail markers, so we didn't even need trail markers, but it's fine. Insurance, right? Suns over here do nothing. Okay. Do I... Probably going to save Pakoto's move to just finish off Renkobo. And I think we're ready to travel, actually. After we do Renkobo. Yeah, I think we're good. I'll just trade in the trail mix. I'm almost positive that because he's the guy that has the market that we can trade with him now. Do I want to see if I can get other stuff though? It doesn't hurt anything. It doesn't hurt anything. So we'll spend 1 focus to remember our training. Right, because we did that traverse test was the last thing over here. Yeah. Remember our training. We don't have any other reason. 1v1. It's a 0. So we get to scout 1 card. It's a whistle. Do I want trail mix or whistle? I already have Oru to soothe fatigue, but trail mix can soothe it for anybody, right? Choose a ranger. That ranger soothes equal to their fit. That's a lot of soothing. Whistle's good too. Trail mix takes up 2. It's also a fit card, just like travel is. We're probably going to trade away trail mix, but let's just put whistle on the bottom and see what else we get. We got an Oru. Okay. And we want to see if we can get some other kind of gear over here too. So remember our training. We're going to use Artel's vaulting rod for the reason symbol. So we're sitting at 3 on our remember over here. The sun actually would add another progress, not that we need it right now. I guess I could have been tidying up, but looks like we're not going to be tidying up again. So focus sitting at 3. Okay. Yeah, crests are going to do nothing. We get to scout 3. We've only got 5 cards left. Hiking staff and gauze blade. Now that we have quiet, we don't really need... Yeah, but the exhaust to add to a trail is good. If I wanted to trade something away, I'll put these back in this order. Actually, wait, hang on. Let me see. Did I use both of my field journals? I did. Yeah. So then we'll draw the hiking staff. Okay, so I think that's everything I want to do. End of the turn, we'll use Oru to move. Crest doesn't do anything. To move Renkobo to get 2 more progress. So we're sitting at the 8 that we need, and we read 83. Clear with progress. Trade, you say? Ren sweeps out his hands. Well, of course you do. I've been from the Messapian Sea to the fortresses of the Ice Clans, and I've laid eyes on the great ocean, if you can believe it. And I have something for everywhere I've visited. He goes to his wagon and starts pulling out items. Now let's see if I can find something to tickle your fancy. Each ranger may return a gear from their hand to the collection. If they do, then they choose a starting gear card from the collection that they meet the stat requirement for and add it to their hand. This alteration to their deck is permanent, so it's not a displaced card, it's like a permanent, that card is gone. If you don't trade with Renkobo, soothe to fatigue. Okay, I'm going to throw in a fast cut here to look through the starting cards to see. I'm almost positive I want to travel over here just to have some Flora fun. But I'm going to look through the starting cards and see if there's something I want to trade, so I'll be right back from the cut. Okay, I think I've made my choices. Might not be the best for gameplay, but I think this is going to be kind of fun. Which, actually, that's probably the best for gameplay, right? Is doing something and having fun with it. So I'm going to turn in Trail Mix. It's the only gear I have in my hand. And I'm going to take Carbon Forged Trowel. The thinking behind Carbon Forged Trowel is it has this spirit test on it to add or remove harm from a flora equal to your effort. So I'm really good at dealing with beings with this character at the moment, but not the greatest at traversing. So things like these obstacles that are flora, I could add harm to these, and I have 3 spirit. So I might be able to do some good harm to some flora things to get them out of the way. Some flora features. So that goes into my hand. Trail Mix is leaving the game. Over here, I'm going to take the Adaptable Multi-Tool. Just a good card. It's not an expert card, right? Yeah, okay, good. I could spend 1 energy to gain 1 energy of any type. So you're trading 1 energy and turning it into something else. It's just good. 2 focus requirement, 2 fitness requirements. Requirements are good. I'm taking out a Gauze Blade. My thinking here is this, well, it does have 2 conflict icons on it, which is nice. Harms beings. I have quiets in the deck. And I could take out the hiking staff, but that has the other benefit of adding progress to a trail instead of just only harming beings. So there's that. I guess I could have seen if I had any different gear by doing this test right here. So that's Renkobo cleared and out of the game. So we're going to travel. Now to think about where to travel to. So we're sitting here at the northern outpost with plenty of progress on it. Day 4 is coming up. I don't know if I want to go through the mountains without being set up. So going through the forest is probably good. I would like to visit Fractured Wall, though. Going through the mountains without having like Artel's Vaulting Rod out to deal with Shale Scree. Is that what it's called? Could be kind of a bummer. I want to get the reward cards into my deck, and with only 4 cards left over here, I don't want to chance it. Or do I? I'm so set up. I am so set up that maybe I should just chance it. Yeah, we're not going to end the day. Let's travel to Mount Nim. Going towards Fractured Wall. Or should I just go back to Lone Tree Station? Because I could do Null. I could try to do the same thing I tried to do today, which was Null and then the mountaintop thing. Not mountaintop. Top mast thing. I don't remember where Null wants to go. Is it White Sky? Maybe it's Spire. I guess I would just have to wait and see. Aatrox Mountain was 10 to clear it, right? We have another boundary sensor in our hand that we could play. We'd play our multi-tool and change like our spirit. Yeah, let's do it. Let's go. We're gonna go back to Lone Tree Station to then try to deal with Null's thing. All right, so we need to clear the play area, and we can travel because these are exhausted, even though they're obstacles. Hang on, since I need to be smart, we will do this and that to up this, and now we're resting and traveling. Okay. Discard that. This stuff all gone. That's gone. This will go down. I really should do things in the right order because we're not at the refresh phase yet, but that's fine. And it is forest, so we need all these forest cards back. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And we're going to need the Valley set, which could include Renkobo again. Okay, the Aatrox goes back in the mountains. Did I leave the mountains out? I did, so that I could put the IRX back in there. Valley set. Is that everything to clean up? Other than unexhausting cards and getting our energy back? One, two, three. Yeah, we could just draw some disgusting Valley cards too, right? That would not be good. There's a lot of challenge cards out of the challenge deck there. Did I screw that up? No? All right. We're back at Aatrox Mountain. We're not going to read the entry again, but lead Ranger, search the path deck for the next obstacle and put it into play. All right, great. Ooh, Calypsa. Oh, Calypsa. Oh, Ruvas. Wait, did I pass an obstacle? I did. Overgrown Thicket. Ranger Cache. Oh, we got really good Valley cards this time too. Did I have an Overgrown Thicket in the wrong place the whole time? I think I did. Oops. It didn't make a difference because we just kept exhausting it. So our main goal here was just to get closer to Lone Tree Station, or actually to end the day back at Lone Tree Station, right? Because if we travel again, we get to move one spot. Let's ready our stuff, draw a card, homeward bound. That's actually really good because we can move progress from a being to a feature. This is no longer doing anything for us. Gauze blade. Okay, path cards. Chase's path card is a buck. Chandara's is a wool hunt. Okay. We just want to travel. So, do I spend my fitness just to get rid of one of those? I don't know if there's any other obstacles that can come out. I already did that out of order, and I even commented that it was out of order. All right, let's just do this to get things out of the way. Exhaust ability. Quiet will take care of the buck. 3 damage to the buck clears it. No, but then I lose quiet. The wool hunt is worse, which unfortunately will take out quiet. So what's happening here is quiet's adding 3 harm to a being, and then quiet gets hurt back because I didn't get my whistle because I'm a fool. Quiet takes 2 harm back, and unfortunately Quiet's gonna have to go rest in the corner. Riri's gonna do a harm to the wool hunt to get rid of it. Exhaust one of these, and I think my first turn if I play the Carbon Forge Trail, I have to get rid of something else. My first turn is going to be to play Homeward Bound for 2 fitness. To move progress from a being to a feature, and that gets rid of it. Okay. We will Oru the buck over to here. We will Pakodo, the buck. We get to add 1 to an aid card. And that's all the exhaust abilities. Now, Quiet should have gone to my discard, not my hand. I can't cheat. We'll spend 2 focus. To play. This is 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, I wish I could have. I should have. I totally forgot about that. Holding on to the field journal. I think multi-tool is just better. And we're going to do this. Take it down to a 2 to turn this spirit into a... I'm just going to do this into a focus. So I'll add it to my focus or fitness stack. Okay, so we played a card. I just want to connect 4 versus 1 with the buck. -1 is 3. Just to get it off the table. Crests is nothing. Okay. Back over to here. We'll spin that 1 fitness just in case we need to do another turn. We'll replace a boundary sensor with a new boundary sensor to get 4 charges on it. I do not want to do the fatiguing test here. What are we going to do over here? Probably nothing. I think we're good. Okay, so we'll just rest. Or no, we're not going to rest. We'll rest with this character. Come over to here, and we're going to do a traverse test on Aatrox Mountain. So we are at 3 on a fitness test. 0. That's 3. Mountain adds 1. Take it to 4. No more mountains. Okay. Then we're going to rest. We're just going to try to speed through traveling out of the mountains here. I didn't even add 1 to an 8 card, but whatever. It's fine. Or did I? It doesn't really matter. Draw a card. Walk with me is good. In case we draw a Crazy Being and a Trail Mix. Vaulting Rod takes up so many spots, but it's like such an amazing card. Okay, path card for Chase is Prowling Wolfhound. Path card for Chandara is the Ranger Cache, which I don't think we need to do because I'm pretty sure it just soothes fatigues. Awareness plus exploration to move your token to this feature. Then you can search your deck for a gear and equip it. Oh, if you fail, move your thing to this feature and you can add 1 token to one of your equipped gear. So failing at this point of the game is probably better than completing it. If we clear it, we can shuffle 2 cards from our discard into our deck, so that extends the day, which I don't think we really need to do. We'll read 79 in just 1 second after we draw. Oh, we already drew. We drew that and that. Okay. Oh my God, I was zoomed in that whole time. Sorry. You barely notice a sigil carved into a nearby rock. You don't see any sign of the Ranger Cache, but you whistle the 5 tones that Benamon taught you during your training. The illusion of a rocky outcropping covered in lichen flares and fades as the lenser deactivates, revealing 4 carbon-forged chests bolted to the rock. Where was I at? I was at this view. Yeah, you probably couldn't see a whole lot that was happening. I'm sorry about that. I'm trying to play too fast here. First things first, exhaustibility. To exhaust this. This is 1 presence in between us and the place up there. We don't have Quiet to deal with the Wolfhound easily, but we could Oru it over here for 2. Bakodo to take it to 4. And let's add to this 8. Now maybe we'll get rid of this. So let's add, what was it at? Whatever, I think I'm gonna get rid of that card. We'll add to this one. And then we're going to use this to turn a focus into a fitness. We're going to do a traverse test. Man, if we get fatigued, I think I should do the Ranger Cache first. It's a 2 difficulty. So I'm actually going to move the Wool Hunt up here. And we'll start with this character. We're going to do the Ranger Cache. That's 2 plus Riri plus the trowel. So we're sitting at 4 effort is 0. Okay, so we get to move our token here, search for gear, and equip it, which means we have to get rid of this. Not that it's going to matter, because I think we're almost done. Okay, crest. If you have 3 or more fatigue, no, I don't. Okay, now we're going to do the same thing. 2 plus 1 is 3 versus a difficulty of 2 on an awareness test. -1 is fine. So we go there, search our deck for gear, and equip it. One card left, except that when we clear, we can shuffle 2 cards from our discard into our deck. It's not really going to matter. Let's just get stuff with a lot of icons. Some from our discard, right? 2 from the discard into your deck, yeah. A lot of icons. Ooh, Pin Pot. And bold, so we can maybe travel. I mean, it's not like we're gonna draw these cards anyway. Okay. That was your turn. Suns. Ready another Wool Hound? There isn't one. This got cleared. Okay. I want to try to pet the dog. For 1. Because me doing a traverse test over here is a little dangerous. After you succeeded a connect test. That's just for a feature. That costs 1. Yeah, we'll pet the dog. So we're looking at fitness. Okay, we fail. No mountains. Man. 2 fatigue, huh? I'm going to go again. I should have just done this. I'm going to connect at 3 with Oru. So 4 versus 2 connecting with the Wool Hund. -1 is 3, so that's enough progress to get rid of the Wool Hund. Mountains, it's already gone. Okay, we're good. I was at 4. That would put 3 progress here. It's not worth it spending the card. Back over to here. We're going to traverse Aatrox Mountain. So we're looking at 4. +1 is 5. I could have dodged it, I guess. Yes, we're looking at 5. On a traverse test, -1 takes us to 8. We're gonna have to spend another turn here. It's not a trail, is it? It's not a trail. No. I did this to go twice. Do I want to pet the dog? No. So we're just going to rest. Now we're kind of at the mercy of maybe getting a bad card out of the path deck. Artel's Vaulting Rod. I should have played Walk With Me. Oh man, and I'm back to this. All right. Buck is fine, and Buck is fine. Okay, we're gonna do this. Artel's Vaulting Rod to 2. Oru's gonna move this Buck over here. They can attack each other, that's fine. We Artel Vaulting Rodded this. And we're going to multi-tool. I forgot to sand it up. Focus into that. We'll do 4, 5 versus 2 on a fitness test. -2 is 3. That takes us to 11. The sun, we suffer a fatigue. We would have to shuffle, but that's it. With 1 card left, we are resting, and traveling to Lone Tree Station. So we're back at Lone Tree Station, where we started the day. And we're camping so that we can put reward cards into our deck. All right, there we go. That's day 3. And this has already been a really long video. So I'm just going to end it here and say I hope to see you back for day 4. And I hope you enjoyed this and everything I'm putting up on the channel. And I will see you in the next one.